I heard once that Germany is actually a made-up country.
Well, I gotta be honest, sometimes I really ask myself, what except football and beer really unites us? It's not the religion, because the country is like half Protestant, half Catholic. It's it's not food, especially not food, because the thing changes all the time, except pretzels, maybe, you know. It's crazy. It's really crazy. It looks so boring, the country, or it can look, at least to someone who's native here, but once you get into it, you realize how colorful this country can be,
Yeah.
actually.
I mean, the history is crazy. And that's why I say I've heard Germany doesn't exist or is a made-up country because like historically that region was always like multiple different nations
Hmm.
and kingdoms
Hmm.
and they only
Yeah.
came together I don't even know which century, but pretty recently, historically speaking.
And yeah, it's technically right, yeah. Like I really feel it.
Do you feel any Nazi guilt?
Whoa, you're packing the heat, bro.
I'm just curious,
No, no, no. I mean, there are probably many people who do that, but I'm very, very, very reluctant to judge anything
Yeah.
about all this. Like I know now how I acted in the pandemic, you know?
Mhm.
Like I've held strong, but eventually I also uh got the vax, you know?
Yep. Yep.
Like
Me
I
too.
also I oh you too?
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay. Crazy.
Yeah. So we're both gonna
Unexpected.
die, brother. It was nice knowing
Oh
you.
yeah. Ah, whatever. Like no, like I know now how easily one can trip and fall, you know.
mm.
And thinking back then, where media was even more one-sided, you know, propaganda was even more rampant. I I would not want to judge anything about all that stuff back then. Like I have, there is this that's very it's really crazy. We have this how's it called? This wooden carving, and uh it's from a place called Lublin. And when you look it up, it's actually a concentration camp.
Oh
And the
damn.
story of this thing is that I guess my grandfather or something, like at one point he gave his meal to a Jew, I guess, or someone in the concentration camp where he was stationed at. And if you would do something like this, you would risk your whole life, you know. And because he shared his meal with those people, that one prisoner made him this wooden carving, and he picked that up in Poland, took it all the way to Russia, and then all the way back to home.
Hmm.
Yeah, and we have it here.
Wow.
So, yeah, when you're confronted with a story like this as a kid, that really does something to you, you know.
Mm.
Yeah. Although I think some teachers really want to get that guilt going. Now that you ask, now that I'm thinking about it,
Yeah, it's a whole part of the conspiracy. Is your family Catholic or Protestant?
we're Protestant, but I'm changing that. I am getting really fed up with Protestantism. I mean, we also talked about this in the group. Um, the main issue for me, actually, because I wouldn't consider myself very well versed. Um, the main issue for me with Protestantism is just the complete absence of Mother Mary.
Mm. Yeah.
That 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 I don't know. So and I'm really growing a bit, you know, uncomfortable with the Protestantism around here, because it's getting in so much splinters. And I mean, you know all this.
Mm.
I think I don't have to tell you this, but like there's some, how do they call it, Pentecostals or something? Like when they're getting all up with the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
When they're basically possessed and acting
Yep.
like a cult. They're not so far from here, actually. There's this big place with people like that, and we actually had good family friends where the mother of the family, she's just, I'm sorry, but she's nuts. You know, this is fucking crazy.
Have you done psychedelics before?
Of course. I think there's no one in the group who has not. Do you know of anyone in that group who really has not, who did not?
Hmm.
I wouldn't know of any.
No, I think we all have.
Yeah, we all accelerated. We all got a whiff of that alchemical fire, transmuted ourselves. I mean, you have to some degree,
Yeah,
I
that's
guess.
necessary. I speculate sometimes about whether or not psychedelics will be integrated into the church's traditions.
That's a wild take.
I don't know if they would though, but it's the pattern
I
of
mean,
taking a
yeah,
psychedelic. It maps really well onto the pattern of communion. But it's
and
also like
also,
the devil's
yeah,
fruit, like it's
hmm
both.
yeah, and like I go so far, and I go so far to claim that I had a spiritual experience at the start of this year. Well, I was sober.
What's been going on?
Um, that was when I started to get in touch with orthodoxy,
Mm,
and I listened to many things of uh, Seraphim Rose,
mm,
and I mean, you could say yes, it touched my heart because that's the point of it. But um, like I did many things before, but nothing hit me like a truck like this. Never before, and that really shook me up.
mm.
So that now I have this. I'd like to claim this, or I'd really actually I do not like to claim this, but it just felt like this. But the parallels between having something like experience something like this and a trip, quote unquote, it's so rather similar.
Mm. Yeah, I just converted recently, and it was the most meaningful experience of my life. And like it all collapsed into a single day, the most meaningful day of my life when I was
Okay, the
baptized
goose.
and married and took my first communion and was confirmed into the church all in one day.
What? In one day, I'm getting goosebumps just hearing this, bro.
Oh my gosh, it was a long day, I'll tell you what, brother. And it
Uh
was
huh.
on
Uh huh.
Easter. It was at the end of Pascha.
Okay.
Or no, 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 it was towards the end of Pascha. It was on Bright Saturday, the day
Uh
before.
huh. Yeah.
But it was at like midnight, so
At midnight.
well, technically it was more like 11 actually.
Okay.
But we started the day at
Crazy.
3 a.m. That's when we got
Yeah.
baptized at 3 a.m.
Okay.
I was tripping, dog.
How were you baptized, if I may ask?
I put on like white garments and I was fully
Ah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
immersed into the water three times
Yeah.
in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And I also received a new name as well, like a
Oh,
baptismal name.
like back then when Jesus went around and just started calling people names.
Type, type, exactly.
Okay. So your real name is Owen, but your new name is what now? Or
Is Joshua.
okay, that's cool. You had to move to get to Orthodox Church, I assume.
Yeah, it was more like synchronicity than causality, though. Like this was not the
Okay.
plan, but
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
this was not my plan, but this was like totally God's providence. I just got caught on the wind of the Spirit, and now all of a sudden here I am.
Crazy.
Like just took communion today. The blood of God flows through my veins.
Yeah, I sinned again today. I
Shit,
took
me too,
the
brother.
yeah, but consciously, very very consciously today,
Oh dear.
because I also went to church, today, and as I said, I'm fed up with Protestantism a bit. So the place I feel spiritually at home right now is a Catholic church, and they had their Eucharist this morning. And actually, you as a Protestant, you actually are not allowed to do this, but I don't give a flying fuck, to be honest. And
Your sin was
many
that
times.
you took the Catholic Eucharist?
Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah.
don't
It
know if
was.
I've ever taken a Catholic Eucharist because I
Oh,
was actually born into a Catholic family and I was
okay.
baptized Catholic.
No, I'm collecting these Eucharists like Pokemon cards. I got the New Apostolic, I got Protestant, I got Catholic. Orthodox is still on my list. The funny thing is, the Apostolic one came to me.
What's the apostolic one?
It's another splinter of Protestantism, I guess. I'm not. I have to look it up. I'm not sure. Well, basically, I was in the hospital where I work, and I was one of my patients. I walked with him outside. I work at a closed psychiatric ward, so we have to accompany our patients outside,
Mm.
and I accompanied him outside into a church, and or like in this little church room we have at the hospital, and that was such a beautiful day because in his I could say in his psychosis or in his yeah, I'm not even sure if that's part of his psychosis. Well, anyway, in his sickness, he's he always talked like he's like the sweetest fucking guy. But he like mutilated himself many times, and he says like he's of the devil and all that.
Mm.
But also at the same time, he's so well versed with the Bible and with songs of worship and all that. It was very crazy, and we've been there, and very cautiously I talked about him with all these things because especially when people suffer from schizophrenia, it's this narrow walk when you talk about them about the things they see and hear. and and he was then proclaiming again that he's of the devil and all that, and I was kind of a bit of challenging that. I'm trying to um talk some good to him, and at that point three people were coming in, and there were like two sons of this old lady, and they celebrated Eucharist with her, and they invited us. So that was a very beautiful
Mm.
experience. Yeah, and this was like God was in mysterious ways, right?
Yeah. What
Yeah.
brought you into that line of work?
To be honest, um, I guess it. Well, um, like half my family has psychiatric history.
Mm.
And I guess it's something that like I've always, how would you say it? Um, I always had to deal with things like that, so I'm naturally, I wouldn't say I'm good at it, but I have like a bit of a feeling for these things. So I made an apprenticeship as a nurse, and while I was at the psychiatric ward, because you like all these stations in the hospital, you switch through them in your apprenticeship, like like gynecology and all these things in ICU and whatever. And the psychiatric ward was just thing that really engaged me. But I think if it hadn't been for my family history, I wouldn't have been there. Yeah. I have to hand it to Griffin though for a big part, leading me back on track.
Dude, if I'm being totally honest, Griffin, his video, wow, which one is it? Apocalypsis.
Mm-hmm.
Apocalypsis, honestly, is what converted me. Like
Mm-hmm.
that and all my own psychedelic experiences, but that like brought it together,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and then I was like, Jesus.
Contact 2020 literally pulled me out of the Tower of Babel. Literally, because um, I like as a kid, as a teen, I was really devout. Like looking back, you know. But there came this point where I just said fuck it, where I was really, 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 really angry with God, and I just took everything that was associated with that and just put it in the furnace, just fire it up, you know. Um, I just yeah, that was a crazy time. I was like 12, 13 or something, and so basically back then, since then, like I think the core values they never leave you, especially if you've been brought up with a religion like that. That that thing I think it never really leaves you, especially since I've been baptized as a baby. But um, I like the core objective messages of Jesus. I think I always kept them to some degree in my life. Like, oh well, he's an idol to some degree, He's a great teacher, okay, but nothing more than that. And
Right, yeah, exactly.
yeah, and
Like he was one of the wise mystics, but just like the first among equals, like you got the Buddha, you got Lao Tzu, you got the Upanishads.
exactly. So that was like all that's was consciously left over from all this to me back
Hmm.
then. And um, my family also has a history with that. And then I started to dabble in the occult. I never did really do anything. I just was the type of guy who um, look but don't touch.
Hmm.
But still, I went deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and till I got into a Discord channel that was literally called Tower of Babel.
Hmm.
And at some point, someone posted Contact 2020 in there, and that was a turning point. That was the turning point, and it was like I heard so many things, left hand path, right hand path, all different religions. I even read the Bhagavad Gita and all these things, and every time I was just like this little, huh, just like nah, I'm not I'm not really, I'm not really convinced of something. It was still something nagging, but um, growing then Griffin stuff came along, and just since then it's like you said, basically converted me back again.
Hmm.
That was wild, really wild. I'm not sure how it feels to you, but at some point, Griffin's material, even before that, before that group, just it's like his life bled into mine. Like his reality bled into mine.
Yeah, we're all certainly in synchronicity to some extent. Like we're all riding this same wave, whatever this crazy shit is, which is somehow
Hmm.
related to like the prophets and shit, low key. But we're not gonna get into that.
Yeah. Julie, would you say that you constellated before? Like really?
I don't even know what that means, brother. If I'm being dead ass. Constellating, I feel like has always been over my head. Like the furthest I got was cumstellating.
What? Well, I mean, yeah, I'm the same because uh, I wouldn't even know how to start to explain what the fuck is actually going on. Uh, I could only explain how it feels, and there was this one point where Jacob uh, talked about that he felt like he closed a circle,
Mm.
where he said basically in the group chat, he was basically said, "I think I constellated now," and right at that time, the same day, almost the same time, just like on the other side of the planet, um, I had that same feeling that I closed a circle and that stuff went on in my life that
Mm.
felt like this. And if I had to give it this experience a name, I would say that past, present, and future are aligned. You know,
Mm.
like it's just at one point it just clicks, and yeah, you cannot believe your own thoughts or something. I don't know.
Hmm.
And that was and that was connected. People said that that some people said that you shouldn't talk about these things, but I'd say fuck this. And this also was connected to that point in my life where I basically said pretty much fuck you, to everything Christian, where I put all the stuff in the furnace. Um, it went back to this point where basically was angry with God, throw everything away, and just so semi-consciously, I just felt like, okay, I'll just grab onto anything next best what's coming,
Hmm.
like this free fall.
Do you have a
Answer to these
cosmogram?
questions. No, not yet.
It's all the rage these days. All the kids are doing it.
Get with it, bro. Get with it, dude. Where's your cosmogram at, bro? I'm still using Griffin's cosmogram as the screensaver from my smartphone.
Hmm.
Makes me feel a bit more comfortable using this wretched thing. Although, I really took very many steps back from using my smartphone. Like a very, very big progress.
Honestly, I have become addicted to the smartphone and the social media. I done have fucked up. And it's just recent too.
Yeah, like I've been there, and I tried. Also, on that point, I also tried what Griffin's doing, to some degree. I moved like all my social media bullshit. I moved it to the PC, Instagram, Twitter, everything basically, and except Snapchat because that is you have to pay for it on PC. It's stupid. So like I try to make my smartphone as unattractive as possible, you know, and I'm not really going on the PC that much anymore since I used to be what you would call a gamer. I I
Oh
played
hell
a
yeah,
lot of
dude.
I played a lot of games, but um, in the past 2 years that really declined. It just doesn't feel good anymore, and so there's naturally not that much pull for me to go on the PC. But the biggest pull to actually use a screen for me is YouTube. I have to be honest.
Hmm.
YouTube or watching my favorite series, which are never ending. It's the biggest pull right now. Social media is pretty much high up there, but it's really gotten better. But let me tell you, if you work in a psychiatric ward and you are in a group chat like this, it really gets your brain going, You're Orthodox. You can explain this to me. How do I work with icons? Like, imagine I have an icon of Saint Maximovich
Mhm.
around here. How do I use it?
You just put it up on a wall, maybe facing east,
Facing east, you said,
if possible. It's not a
if
big deal.
possible. Oh well, I think it does point rather eastward, so I think I did that right. But if when you pray, you like you ask them as to be like a mediary,
Yeah, you can
or
do that. Ask them
right?
to pray
Yeah,
for us, to
yeah.
intercede on our behalf.
Because I only did that once because I was always like so reluctant and too respectful, too reverent, whatever, to actually do this. But then I did that once, you know, and not long after I talked with someone in my dream who, when I woke up, I thought that looked awfully similar to Maximovic. I mean, that dream wasn't of that much importance. It just was a pleasant one, and That's a good change for the habit. Pleasant dreams, not nightmares. So you're Oriental Orthodox.
Yep.
Is there Does that change much?
The major difference is in Christology. The Oriental
Uh-huh.
Orthodox Christians believe that Christ possesses one nature that is human and
Mm-hmm.
divine.
Mm-hmm.
And the Eastern Orthodox believe that Christ has two natures, one human and one divine. They both believe that they're in union in just in different ways. So the Oriental Orthodox believe that the two natures are united in one composite nature, and that the the Eastern Orthodox believe that the two natures are separate in nature, but they're unified in him as a person.
Uh, um, let Please don't let me sound like a heretic, but does that really matter?
Honestly, I 100% agree with you. I have no idea what the fuck the difference is.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I mean,
I'm
I'm not the Orthodox one, you know,
Dude,
but
I'm so
but that
serious. I didn't even know that it existed until I was like deep in catechism.
for me, and this is a very Protestant thing to say, so hold on to it. To me, so far in my adventure to Christ, um, isn't every Orthodox person striving for theosis?
Yes, although in the
Okay.
Oriental Orthodox tradition, there's more of an emphasis on sanctification. But it's basically the same thing.
All right, perfect. Then you could say, on my long path to theosis, so far, I'd say that I think when I'm at the right place for that is near to Christ, or however would you say, um, I feel this burning in my heart, you know, like Father Seraphim said, and I realized that when I start to cry. But the thing is, I do that, but I'm not sad. Like the first time I stepped foot into an Orthodox church and I went into the corner with the icons, I just started to cry.
Mm.
I didn't even know why. I wasn't really all that happy. I wasn't sad. It just cried like a bitch, you know. Couldn't help it. And the next time um that happened, I I talked to a nun,
Mm.
also at that place where I go now, the Catholic place, and that feeling was almost the same, you know. That was
Mm.
so much moved in me, you know.
Mm.
And I've been to many churches around here, but or like met like Christian people, but there's these few instances where it's just like bam, you know. It's so overwhelming, and like I don't want to chase these things. I mean, they're very attractive, so one would rather chase, and I find myself doing that sometimes, but I know that's not the right thing to do. But as soon as I feel this, I know I'm at the right place, you know, where I'm getting there, you know. How would you ever say that? So it's more of a feel thing, you know. Of course, I don't want to reduce all these beautiful things to just a feeling, but especially when it comes to this theory, like you just said, I think at least for me, I would never want to lose this is my focus, you know, when it feels vibrant and alive. How was that for you with orthodoxy?
It was a huge gamble, but it paid off. It just made more and more sense the more that I attended the liturgies, and even without communion or actual participation in any sacraments, it made sense.
Many people describe the Orthodox Church as being very reluctant to introducing new people into it.
Nah, my church is like a dedicated missionary church.
Okay.
Honestly, There's like some goofballs at my church, and I'm one of them. I'm the king of the goofballs. Like,
Crazy. It's
I
cool.
do not belong, but
Yeah.
like, hello, Father. Yes, I am not a Gnostic.
And that's what brings me to my next question. How the fuck do you make the bridge between loving Christ and even owning a deck of tarot cards? How do you bridge that?
You know, I think I gotta get rid of my tarot cards now that you mention it.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it.
I'm holding
You know,
on to them. Yeah.
I'm a filthy Protestant. I can do this still. You know, I'm not yet Orthodox. And also, thank you for your feedback and the likes on my Substack.
Oh, dude, I forgot that
I know.
that's you. Dude, I
Yeah, that's
love
me.
it. It's
You
genius.
love it? You love really?
Yeah, it's genius.
Oh my God, that means
The
that
chorus,
means
the
so much to
correspondence.
me.
It's so like intuitive and like I'm surprised no one else has done it already. Like,
I mean, how's it called?
and what is
Johannes
it?
Goldmouth.
Meditations on the Tarot. Have you read that?
Yeah, Johannes Goldmouth. That's the guy. That's the person.
Hmm.
That inspired me to do this. Who made the whole symbology on the pentacles and wands and all that things.
Yeah, it's
Um,
genius.
because that yeah, it's I still it's so enriching and I still find so much. It's still revealing and the thing is, I
Yeah.
really I really don't feel comfortable. You know, I gotta be honest.
But you know
Just picking up my
the tarot comes out of the Christian tradition in large part. Like
yeah,
you'll find like the Ark of the Covenant and stuff, and like
exactly.
allusions to like Mary and like different icons.
There's there the symbolism is so overflowing with Christian stuff. It's crazy, you know. It's like Rider Waite. You could if you wouldn't know who he is, you would just think, okay, it's it's just some saints, you know, who made cards or something. Um, just from the look at it. But really though, that you say that that means so much to me.
Yeah, I made my own tarot deck.
Oh,
Like yeah, the tarot. I think tarot's cool, or at least it can be.
you know, this is such a difficult subject because I have to be honest, since I don't really engage with a church, or let's just say I don't really have a church that I really want to engage with. But I mean, now I have the Catholic one. God bless. But other than that, it's like when I want to read the Bible, except maybe New Testament, of course, especially Old Testament, I read this stuff and it's just like either I fall asleep, my brain hurts, or I just don't understand anything at all, or all these three things at once. You know.
Hmm.
So working with the Bible itself is so difficult, and I don't know how. Although I would like to, so I rather work like with like these sayings for a day, you know, these daily uh, sentences, and I try to work with that backwards, you know, just like okay, I got this sentence now today. Now I try to work with this today, and then I go back into the Bible and read up around it to get more information. Um, because the other way around, I'm just hopelessly lost. And I have to say, the Rider Waite deck really gets me into biblical thinking. So it's like it's such a positive influence. At least that's how it feels to me. You know, getting into knowing the Bible and all that. But it just feels wrong, but also right. It's so weird. You once said that basically fuck all religions except Orthodox, of course, and except for the Tao. You said the Tao is okay also.
Yeah, Loki. I think Taoism is chill as fuck.
I never really got into that. Can you give me a bit of insight?
Honestly, you just have to read the Tao Te Ching.
Okay.
It's a really easy read. It's basically just a series of poems, and
Okay.
that's like their version of the gospel almost.
Hmm.
if I could go that far.
Okay. Did you ever read the Bhagavad Gita?
No.
No, because when I read it the first time, I was so amazed and baffled that Hinduism has so many parallels to Christianity. The Bhagavad Gita is just like apart from the whole, like, like from the whole. It's like you would pick a few Gospels from the New Testament and leave out the whole Bible. That's basically the Bhagavad Gita, and it deals with Arjuna and Krishna. Yeah, Krishna. And it's so crazy because Arjuna has to go into war against people that he used to call friends, teachers, mentors, family, and Krishna, who's basically this type of Jesus figure, just comes down to earth and basically tells him, "Yeah, do that." Also, like with same example, like, okay, I came to this world not to bring peace but a sword. Kind of like this vibe. Um, very interesting. Very interesting. Would you call yourself Ariamanic or rather Luciferic?
Oh, I'm yelled Bayalthian as fuck, dog.
For real?
Dude, don't even get me started.
Then you're one of the few ones like me who also would consider themselves Ariamanic.
Yeah. It's gone too
Because,
far though, for real, for me.
yeah,
I try though. Yeah, hashtag Ariman, hashtag Yaldabaoth, hashtag Demiurge.
we artificing for real, for real. What do you work as?
I do engineering site layouts for different projects, like veterinary building or like 80-acre corn oil plant. It's pretty amazing, and I can work from home.
And I guess with a job like that, you're also pretty flexible.
Yeah, a little bit. Right now, I'm actually taking a lot of business trips to Louisiana, which is on the opposite side of the country, towards Mexico.
Ah, you're almost in Canada, right?
Yeah, I border on
Okay.
Canada.
And you're going down to Louisiana.
Yeah.
So you really have to drive down there
No, I
to
fly.
Louisiana. Ah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Crazy. Germany is like 5 or 6 states of yours,
Hmm.
in size. Or maybe 7 or 8,
Yeah,
depending on the state.
America is stupid big. They should have split in the Civil War.
What? Okay. Is that a hot take or is that a general opinion around your place?
That's a hot take right there.
Okay, okay, I figured. This shit is split. What are you up to right now?
Right now, I'm watching Forest River Nature Sounds, gentle stream with bird song, 4K relaxing nature ambience for sleep. But also, I'm meditating on this Council of Chalcedon shit.
What do you mean meditating?
Just thinking about it. Because my brother is
Okay.
converting to Orthodoxy as well, and he was
Mm-hmm.
going to a Greek church, which is Eastern Orthodox. But today, he went to an Ethiopian church for the first time instead, which is Oriental Orthodox. He's largely motivated by the fact that I'm Oriental Orthodox, and so if he got confirmed into a Greek church, then we wouldn't be in communion. But it also seems easier, and
Oh.
like the priest has more time for him to actually get him baptized. So we're looking into this shit a lot now.
Yeah, that sounds very complicated. You posted a live stream of the St. George Coptic Orthodox Church in the group chat. Is that your?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, crazy. It's really 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, at least.
You're standing the whole time.
Nah, you sit a couple times. I sit more than I should.
Okay. I always thought that in Orthodox churches you stand the whole time.
Traditionally, and you won't like sit down, but you would prostrate or something.
Can you give me a rundown of your Young is Sus video?
I just talk about how he's a CIA agent and try to slander him.
Okay, okay. What did you find out?
He was CIA agent 488, I think it was. Well, it wasn't the CIA actually. It was the OSS, but it was
Mhm.
like the spiritual successor of the CIA. They were like the operations of strategic services before they were the Central Intelligence Agency. And Young's handler later went on to become a director of the CIA.
Yeah, that's pretty sus.
Yeah, and you can see like how his a lot of his work has gone towards this like new world religion,
Hmm.
and there's a lot of antichrist ties.
Okay. Do you have any examples?
Well, making the duality between Christ and antichrist and trying to say that we need a middle way isn't
Ah, you
right.
mean the further splintering, that thing that Griffin talked about
Yeah,
with
and
the.
he's just very like, the Jungian philosophy is very perennialist as well and more Neoplatonic
Mm-hmm,
than
mm-hmm.
it is Christian. But yeah, that was that video. It was made in the same spirit as I made a video called "Nietzsche Will Not Save Us," where I basically
Mm-hmm.
just like shit on the Nietzscheans,
Oh,
and I'm like
I mean,
saying that Ubermensch is bullshit, Christ is
do you
Lord.
shit on the Nietzscheans or Nietzsche himself?
More like the Nietzscheans.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. That's fair.
Like I showed you, I've been to the grave of Nietzsche. Like I have outstanding respect for him. He's like honestly he was a major stepping stone in conversion. Ironically,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense because I mean, I never understood it, to be honest, what he was talking about. But so far, I mean, I got so far that I understand that he said that, okay, I'm realizing general values and religion is dying. We're killing God, and this is going to be a real big fucking problem. So, guys, please become Übermensch before everything shit
yep,
hit the fan, right?
yep, yep.
Nice.
But the actual solution was to convert to Christ.
Yeah, but I mean, well, that's another saying from Ellen Watts: "The road to hell is paved with good intentions." Right?
Yeah. God bless Nietzsche. Nico, what's the significance of the ladybug?
Uh, this I don't want this recorded.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Not yet. Not yet. I'm not comfortable having that on record yet. So if you pause the record, I can actually tell you.